All right, how's it going? So I've got a program called the Fearless Founder Formula. It's a mindset training program, and this is going to be the first part of the program. It's going to be the first module, if you will. But I'm going to keep adding to this and talk to you about mental models and help you get that fearlessness that you need to help your coaching clients, to grow a great business, and to feel confident each day that you go to do things. So what I've done is I've started off here, and I'll put myself down here a little bit lower. But this first session is very important because it's about boosting your self-esteem, all right? And I want to explore how to transform your fear, because that's really the root of what stops you from doing something is the fear. So I want to really help you transform this fear into empowerment. And I want to help you unlock your true potential as a digital coach. You know, here's a picture of me. This was 2008. I had just, actually, no, this is 2010. Sorry. I had just gotten rid of a company that was doing physical product stuff, and I started to do the digital product thing. And I wanted to have that laptop life, right, where I could coach people, help them, create digital courses and digital programs that helped people, and I could live life the way I wanted to from my laptop. And when I first started to jump into this, I was very unsure. The confidence wasn't there, right? I was really trying to figure myself out and figure out how to talk on camera. And I can just remember this moment here specifically when I first started creating, videos and things like that. I was confident about what I was doing, but, confident in how to bring it across and say it. I kept having to restart, and it kept holding me up. And so I just want to share with you that even if it sometimes seems like I'm polished now or that this is just a natural thing for me, it wasn't. And I had to build into it. I had to take it one step at a time and create this as I go. So, and you're going to do the same thing. And I just want to help you. I want to take you through this. I've got an exercise for you here at the end. But let's just go ahead and dive in. Stick with me here. I really believe in you. This coaching business and having confidence in this world of online business, it's one of the greatest things you can ever do for yourself, your family, and I think you're really, really going to find that it was one of the best things you ever did. So join me in this, and let's jump right in. So understanding self-esteem, all right? So self-esteem is, it's this bedrock, really. Upon like everything that we do in our lives, this bedrock is the thing that is built upon, okay? It comes down to and shapes, how we view ourselves, how we view other people, our abilities. And this is one of the things that really profoundly impacts our actions and our decisions, especially when we're confronting fear of failure or, creating a video or creating a course or creating content or putting ourselves out there. And so, imagine building a house, okay? If the foundation is weak, the entire structure is at risk, okay? So no matter how great everything else, if you build the rest of the house perfectly, if it's built on a weak foundation, you're in trouble from the get-go. And so many coaches I see are trying to grow this business online, and they don't want to confront the fact that maybe they need to work on themselves and their self-esteem. And so just like anything that would happen in a weak foundation with a nice house built on top of it, similarly with us, self-esteem is the foundation of your confidence. It's the foundation of your actions and how you're going to be able to help people. So fear of starting versus fear of imperfection. That hesitation that you feel before creating marketing content or a course or, a video sales letter or anything that you're doing inside of your coaching business, that often comes from a fear of not starting perfectly, right? And this fear it's not about action itself. Okay? It's not that you're an action taker or you're not. It's really about this pressure to meet these unrealistic standards and that you've either set for yourself or that you perceive others have set for you. Okay, so I want to say that again. that hesitation and that fear that you have, it's not about the action itself. It's not about doing the thing. It's the pressure that you've set to try to meet these unrealistic standards and expectations, or the expectations that you think others have set for you. Okay, so just think of an artist starting at a blank canvas. Okay, the fear of making the first brush stroke comes from the desire to create a masterpiece immediately. Okay, forgetting that even the greatest artists of all times, the greatest artworks, all of them started with a single stroke. Okay, so you build one stroke on top of another. You might have heard me say in the past, you can't edit nothing. You have to create something, and then you can edit it. So, again, this action part is not the issue. Okay, it's not that you're lazy. It's not anything like that. It's that fear of not meeting these expectations that you've either set or that you think others have set of you. Okay, you're better to take an action knowing that you can go back and edit, knowing that you can actually grow from each stroke and perfect it in that way. So, paralysis by analysis. Overthinking potential outcomes. Overthinking like what's going to happen if I do this or whatever. What if I go here or there? This will lead to just complete paralysis. You'll be frozen. You're analyzing everything, okay, and you're wondering what will happen if I do this and what will happen if I do that, or should I do it this way? This freeze response, it stems from the fear that your final product's not going to align with the vision of others or yourself or these expectations. And each time that you freeze in this moment, you keep reinforcing this low self-esteem loop that you're probably in. Okay? So what we want to do is, just imagine you're standing at a crossroads, just like the image here. And you're unable to choose the path because you worry about what lies ahead down each road. And by standing still, okay, you're actually just going to miss the whole journey entirely. You're going to miss the whole thing. It's just going to pass you by. There's this amazing opportunity in the digital coaching space. You have this ability to learn and create and help others. But if you just stand there, you're going to miss it. It's going to pass you. So taking that first step, even without knowing the outcome, is what people actually need to be doing to go forward, to move and get to that place, to actually succeed. You're better to take a step forward and have it propel you because you chose a decision, you made a decision, versus just standing there. You're better to go the wrong way and be like, whoops, and then turn around and go back the other way, versus standing there going, okay. So when you feel that frozenness, that paralysis, what are you going to do? You're going to go, you're going to move, you're going to take a step. So discovering the roots of self-esteem. So when you're understanding the specific causes of your self-esteem, this is going to give you a framework that will give you empowerment. When you can recognize what's going on and you can do something about it, this empowers you. This gives you a lot of strength. It almost leads you into a place of mastery. Okay, the people that you really want to help are the ones that can't even recognize. So understanding those specific causes of low self-esteem are going to give you this framework that you need to be more empowered. So let's say in the morning there's a struggle. Okay, so there's a struggle to get going and work on your business, your coaching business. Okay, this is going to highlight a peak in self-doubt, for instance. So while your freeze response is going to basically reveal that you have this belief in perfectionism, when you freeze or when you have this self-doubt, what that's doing is you got to realize there's something there causing that. There's something, it's not just some weird thing that, this is the way the wind blew or this is the way you were born with this thing. There's just something there that you need to identify. And so if you can reflect, okay, on the past where you've had confidence and it's shown through, then that internal reassurance mechanism is going to kick in. You're going to have this reservoir going, oh yeah, wait, hold on a second. Something's going on here where I'm doubting myself. What is the cause of that? And by identifying that, you can remove it. Okay, so consider a gardener tending to their plants. Okay, so they go to their garden and they're looking for the weeds that stunt the growth of all the other plants. Okay, so they find the weeds and they pull these weeds out, and yet right in that moment, that is the first step towards nurturing that thriving garden. You're taking out the things that are stunting the growth. Okay, so similarly, recognizing those patterns inside of yourself where you're feeling the low self-esteem, it helps you to weed out the doubts when you go, oh yeah, wait a minute. This feeling I'm having isn't because I'm broken or I don't know or I'm dumb or I'm not able to or what's wrong with me? Why is everybody else, why can't I? Instead, just go, there's a weed in my garden. I've got to find that weed and I got to pluck it out. Okay, it's kind of like focusing. The way you actually focus better is not by trying to focus more. Okay? The way you focus better is by asking yourself, what is the thing that stops focus? What is the complete opposite of focus? Distraction. So instead of trying to be better at focusing, what would happen if you identified the weed called distractions? If you identified all the distractions and just removed those, you would have no choice but to be left with focus. Think about it. If you remove everything around you that distracts you, you have nothing but focus because nothing's distracting you. So similarly, when you're having these self-doubt moments, when you're feeling this weird low self-esteem moment and you're not progressing, you're not doing something, stop and be the gardener of your emotions and say, what is stopping this? Why am I doubting myself? Why am I stopping? Why am I not moving forward? Why am I not doing this? Find that weed and then remove it. So rebuilding your self-view. Okay, so what you want to do is try to transform your perception from someone being bound by fear to this confident creator. Instead of thinking, listen to what I said. Instead of thinking and perceiving yourself as this person that's scared of things, instead just say, I'm a confident creator. I can create things. And you can. So embrace each day, okay, as a step towards mastery. That's what I want you to each day say, I'm just getting a little bit better. I'm becoming more of a master at creating an email, at creating a piece of content, at building a video, at building a slide deck, or building a presentation, or teaching and helping somebody. Just say, each day is that. It's not each day I got to overcome fear. Each day I'm scared and I got to work through that. Just each day I'm getting to be more of a master. Masters learn by doing and making mistakes and revising and editing and changing. So this means that you're going to want to value progress over perfection. Okay, so instead of judging what you did that day or in that moment by how perfect it is, why not judge it by, I progressed, I did something, I built something, I created something new, I heard something, I edited it, I seen where I could do better and I got better at it. Don't look at it as something that, oh my God, I messed up again, or man, I thought I could do better. No, I made progress. I got closer towards mastery. And then focus on more about how your work actually is going to benefit other people. Instead of focusing on how you didn't do it right, or it's not good enough, or it's not as good as theirs, or I'm not working as best like they are, or that, they're so confident in action and all that, instead think, how is what I am creating right now actually helping others? How is it bringing value and benefiting others and getting them closer? Okay, it's almost like, think of a sculptor like chiseling away at a block of marble, right? You think about it, just a big square block of marble, and this sculptor's chiseling away at that block, and each strike, it might seem very insignificant. It's like a little chip just, and it breaks off, and it's like flat and edgy. It doesn't look like much. Okay, it's very insignificant, each little chip. But with patience and persistence, okay, that masterpiece starts to emerge. You start to see it mold out of that. Okay, so it's each little chip doesn't seem like much. It almost seems like you made a mistake. It looks weird. It's like that's not the head of some great leader that I'm trying to carve out. And that's what's happening each day when you're doing content, when you're building your coaching business. You're seeing these little actions not give you these profound feedback of great money and all this stuff and everything, but you don't realize actually you're building something fantastic here. You're chipping away at something so marvelous beneath, but you have to be patient with that persistence, and you have to embrace each day as a step towards that masterpiece. Okay? Valuing each and every little effort over seeking the idea of perfection. Because when you complete the project and you get it done, that is when you can just completely transform your brain and say, whoa, I did that. That's where the confidence comes from. That's where the imposter syndrome goes away. So steps towards building confidence. Okay, we're gonna establish and build confidence each and every day. And the way we do that is not some hooey-fooey thing, okay? It's about getting a daily ritual, something you do each day, and it prepares you systematically for success. Each day you're focusing on learning and contribution. In your digital coaching business, every day you're creating content of some sort, whether it's marketing content, the actual act of coaching, or creating digital coaching programs, just like the one you're experiencing right now. Okay? The strategies each day that you set up in this routine, in this ritual, it's going to help you transform this doubt, okay? You're going to, basically, this doubt, it starts to almost be just completely meaningless. You see it coming and you're like, and instead it turns into like this, it's almost like a launch pad for creativity. Okay, you see it coming, you recognize it as a weed in the garden, you start wondering where this came from, you remove it, and you start thinking about how I can benefit others, and then all of a sudden, each day you're getting more confident, your coaching program gets better, your content gets better. And so imagine like an athlete. Okay, some athletes, some women here. Let's say they're getting ready for this big race. Okay. They start each day with a warm-up routine. They're getting proper nutrition and water. They're planning their training very meticulously. They're not just, I don't know, it's nothing just up in the air. Like Landon, our son, he's a runner for Wichita State University, okay, a D1 school. There's no flubbing around each day. It's like, I'm going this far this day, I'm doing this much this day, it's an easy run, hard run, I'm hitting these metrics. Very meticulous. Okay, very meticulous. They know exactly what they're doing each day. And it's focusing on, improving their performance bit by bit. It's, running a little bit better each day. A second, 2 seconds. So in each day, how can you create content a little bit better? How can you prepare systematically? How can you plan the night before so that when you wake up, you know what you're doing? This is a very magical practice that you can get into. The night before, what can you actually put down that you're going to do the next day so that when you get up, you follow this routine? If each day you're not following a routine, of course we're going to have some self-esteem problems. We're going to have some confidence problems. So we want to master the mundane. We want to know what we're doing. We want to be prepared the night before. We want to prepare our body and our mind with good nutrition and sleep. We want to remove the weeds out of the garden, distractions. And we want to take action on that, knowing that we're trying to help and benefit other people. We're trying to help them. And by doing that, the universe does that magical thing where it gives us everything that we want. So I want you to, just establish routines and preparations to build your confidence and readiness each and every day. I have a simple Google Doc that I pull up. I'll be sharing it with you throughout the programs. But it's a simple Google Doc, and I basically take everything that I need to do and I just put it on that Google Doc. And then I'll take the top 3 most important things on that list, and I will list them 1, 2, 3 in order of importance. So the most important thing is at 1, next most important thing at 2, next most important thing at 3. And until those things are complete, I don't even consider anything else on the list. This single practice has helped me get more done and accomplish more in my life with the least amount of stress, and it gives me confidence because each day I can look at that list. At night, if I have an idea, if something's coming up, I can add it to the bottom of the list. And then each day, what I do as part of my routine and my systems is I look at that and I say, which of these items are more important than all other items? That goes at the top. What's left? Which of these items now, minus the one that's at the top already, are more important than any of these other items on the list? That goes in slot number 2. And now there's the rest of these items. Of these items on the list, which one is more important than all the rest of the items? That goes in slot number 3. Then I go up and start working one slot. Until that first slot is done, nothing else gets paid attention to. So I also know that each day I need to produce some sort of content, okay? And it's not just some sort of content. I need to have a content calendar in place. I need to know what am I creating that day and why. How does it benefit the overall health of my system and business, as well as how does it overall benefit the people that I'm trying to help? And I keep this very focused. And this is how you can enjoy yourself, know what you're doing, and each day, bit by bit, you get better and better and better. Okay? So how are you going to implement what I just talked about? So confidence boosting keywords and phrases. So what you want to do is you want to use confidence boosting keywords like empowerment, resilience, authenticity, courage, and mastery when you're talking to yourself, in your self-talk, and in your content creation. Use these words. And you might say, well, yeah, Mike, okay. These words will actually help shift your mindset and reinforce a positive self-image. Throughout the program, I'm going to talk in different places. You'll hear me talk a lot about chimpanzees and monkeys and the monkey brain, because whether we want to admit it or not, we are very, very similar to these creatures that we say are, nature or, this other thing out there, okay? And I'll get more into this later, but just like in headlines and copywriting, a word is very powerful. For instance, if I just say, you're overweight, that doesn't hurt as bad as when I say, wow, you're fat. And, that doesn't even hurt as bad as I'm like, geez, what a slobby fat ass. Seriously? So think about the difference and how that felt. All I did was change the word, but we were still talking about the same thing, being overweight. So when you think that words like this don't matter when you're talking, or when you're talking to yourself, or when you're talking to your clients, this would be a very sad mistake to make. Okay? The words that we use, the way we describe ourselves to ourselves, the way we describe things to others, all depends very heavily on the way we define it with words. That's how humans articulate ideas and thoughts. And when we say words, we think of shapes and colors, and we think of objects. So think of like a musician, for instance, right? Think of a musician and they're practicing their scales on a guitar, right? The different scales up and down the guitar neck. Each note that they're playing, okay, they basically affirm their skill and dedication. So every time they play that scale again, or they play that chord and they play it and it sounds good, it's like a bit by bit progression. They're affirming they know it. It's telling them that they know that they can do it. Tell me that chord, I'll play it. And the more they've strummed that or created that chord or done that chord, the more their confidence grows. So when you're using confidence boosting keywords in your copy, in your content, in your training, when you're talking to yourself, it's the same as like practicing those scales. You're reinforcing your strengths. You're preparing yourself for your performance. Okay, you're preparing your brain. And so I really encourage that as you speak to yourself, you've probably been speaking to yourself a lot throughout this training already. When you do, use words that are powerful, that empower you. Master. I'm an expert. Okay? Think about these words. I love being authentic to my audience. I have resilience when I work on things. I want you to really start focusing on how you speak to yourself. Okay, you're training yourself by how you speak. Some people talk so much trash on themselves, it's unbelievable. And yet, you are the person that is deciding what you're saying to yourself. Why on earth would you choose to talk trash on you? The one person who has a choice in the decisions that they make and how they speak and act is deciding, for some reason, to talk trash on themselves instead of talk about how empowered they feel. I'm resilient to things. My resilience is incredible. I love being my authentic self. Doesn't matter if they don't like it. I'm here to help others, and I have the courage to go out there and focus on their benefit and not what someone thinks of me, because I'm focused on mastery, focused on being better every single day. It's a completely different feeling, isn't it? So I really encourage that you do that, and I really want you to start thinking, wait, am I just talking trash on myself again? Stop, pull that weed out of the garden, and then reinforce it with something else that is positive, that's true. And remember, it's not about you, it's about creating and coaching and guiding somebody through something that's difficult. That is the true value that you're bringing to people. All right, so in conclusion here, in summary, I want you to remember that building self-esteem is a journey. It's not something you're just born with, okay? And by understanding and addressing those roots of your self-doubt, finding those weeds in the garden, and then embracing actionable strategies, things that you can do, take the step. Count to 3 and take the step, okay? Understanding that you have to take, you can't edit nothing. You have to take a stroke. Okay, build off of that. All right. You can always go back and fix it. You can always go back and fix it. You can always communicate. You can always communicate. And then using those confidence boosting keywords to yourself, to your clients, just use them in your content. Okay? This is going to help you tremendously. You will become such an incredible new version of yourself to yourself, and it's in you right this moment. It's sitting in you right now. It's not something that will come eventually. You can literally unlock it like you're unlocking a door, open the door, and walk right through it right now. This isn't something that eventually becomes. It can start right now. You can do it right now, and you can transform this fear and self-doubt and imposter syndrome and low self-esteem into an empowerment, into a courage, into a mastery, and you can achieve this success. that you want in your digital coaching business. You can create a business that will earn as much as you desire it to earn. It will work in the hours that you want it to work, and you can work with people that you want to work with. But you have to make that decision, and you have to focus, which means remove distractions. And you can do this. Just consider this process of, hiking or climbing up a mountain. Each step, doesn't matter how small it is, brings you closer to the top. Each step. And it's the person that just quits stepping that fails. Every little tiny step. You can't disagree with this. Physics, science, whatever you believe in, nothing will discount the fact that every step, regardless of the size, towards the summit, towards the peak, is a step closer towards that. But if you're not stepping, you're not getting closer. If you turn around and go back or quit, there's no possible way. So by continuously practicing these strategies here that I've talked about, and I've also got an exercise I want to do with you here in just a moment. But by continuously doing this, okay, every day, taking a step, practicing the strategies, even if you don't feel good, even if you're not quite completely certain, perfect, sure, okay, like we talked about, inaction has nothing to do with action, has nothing to do with your laziness or your abilities. It's just you're in perfection mode. Okay? But if you continuously practice this on a daily basis, you set it up ahead of time to focus on it, you will steadily build your confidence. You will steadily become bulletproof. You'll have this rhino skin you'll just be empowered. You'll have this shield of you just continuously get stronger, right? And you can help people more and more and more. And you'll just keep reaching these new heights that you never thought were possible, but they are now because you've decided that it's really not that big a deal. All I have to do is continuously move towards this thing. Okay, and you will grow a great coaching business. You will have a journey of digital coaching success that will it'll be well beyond anything that you ever imagined it to be in the first place, even when you imagined it to be at its greatest. And it just comes from taking action, removing this thought of imperfection, weeding the garden, talk to yourself with confidence, embrace the simple, mundane strategies, and no self-trash talk. Why would you do that? So let's look at this exercise here. This is a confidence building exercise. You can go down below, and there is a PDF file down below. Just download the PDF or click on it, save it, or however, open it up so you can see it. And you're just going to complete the 3-question exercise. I'm going to jump into the worksheet here with you. And you're just going to reinforce yourself with a systematic approach to growth. So let me pull this up here. Let's look at this. So this confidence building exercise. So complete this 3-question exercise to reinforce your newfound confidence and ensure it continues to grow. So this activity is designed to make you reflect on your progress and identify your strengths and set actionable goals. So question 1, part 1, reflect on past successes. Okay? Reflect on past successes. So here's the prompt to yourself. Okay, it's a prompt where you prompt ChatGPT, you're prompting yourself. Think about when you felt particularly confident in your coaching journey. Okay? And if you're just brand new to your coaching journey, think about a time when you felt particularly confident in your ability to help someone. Okay? Describe the situation in detail. What were you doing? Okay, what made you feel confident? How did this impact your experience? How did it impact your work? Okay, here's an example response. I felt incredibly confident when I successfully helped clients overcome their fear of public speaking. I was prepared, knowledgeable, and my client was genuinely grateful. This experience reminded me of my ability to make a significant impact and boosted my belief in my coaching skills. Okay? So again, I want you to think about past successes that you've had. What were you doing? Think about what was the sun like outside? What was the light in the room like? What were the people wearing? The more details that you can enrich into this thought process, the more you're going to be able to remind yourself, oh yeah, I can learn and do. I can take action. I can make mistakes and be okay afterwards and get better. Okay, question number 2. Identify strengths and accomplishments. Okay, identify strengths and accomplishments. So here's the prompt. List 3 strengths or skills that you possess as a digital coach. List 3 strengths or skills that you possess as a digital coach. How have these strengths helped you in your coaching business so far? Provide specific examples for each. So let's look at these examples. Example 1, strategic vision. So we're listing strengths and skills. Strategic vision. I have a clear plan for my coaching business, which has helped me stay focused and achieve my goals. Example, developing a comprehensive content strategy that increased my client base by 30%. So again, what was it? What is the skill? What is the strength that you have as a digital coach? And then how did it help you in your coaching business so far? Okay, well, I have a clear plan for my coaching business. It helped me stay focused and achieve my goals. Cool. How? Well, I developed a plan, a content strategy, and it increased my client base by 30%. Okay, excellent. By identifying the strengths and accomplishments, it's so powerful. You know how in your mind, when you start getting crappy on yourself, you start getting kind of crunchy. You see that self-doubt coming where you need to really do some gardening. Okay, think about it. What is actually happening there? You're starting to think about the past. Okay, you're starting to identify weaknesses in yourself and failures. So while some people will look at this worksheet and think they're, I don't need to do this silly stuff. I want you to think about something for a moment. Whenever you, like everybody does and will and always forever, has that moment where you're being, pissy with yourself, or you're having you're having a little party for yourself that's like feeling sorry for yourself. Okay, you're having a little pity party. Okay, you're stopped, you're frozen in analysis. You're not remembering what you're actually trying to do. You forgot you had a plan. You forgot you had a daily action list that you prepare each night, the night before, and you focus on. You know what's happening there is instead of identifying your strengths and accomplishments, you're identifying your weaknesses and your failures, and you're compounding on those. You're trash talking yourself. This is what's actually happening, by the way. So you see the effects of that, right? It literally stops you. It takes you out completely, doesn't it? But what happens if you reverse that? What happens if you were sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I do have a plan. And you know what? Matter of fact, my plan was so good that I remember building an email follow-up sequence, and it took all the leads that I was getting and turned them into new customers. I got new customers from that. That's right. I need to do that again. I need to focus on that again. I did lead a team. I did help and train people that got better at sales. I actually did help my client lose 20 pounds. I remember when I did that. Why can't I do that again? Think about talking to yourself like that instead of wasting the time on this idea that you're weak and you can't and you failed and okay? Everyone has to do this. The greatest of the greatest have to do this. Here's another one, technologically savvy. Maybe you have the ability to use digital tools effectively and it streamlined your coaching process. Okay? So example, Implementing an automated scheduling system saved me time and reduced administrative tasks. I remember I did that one time, remember? You're talking to yourself here. Oh yeah, I remember I do know how to use tech. I do know how to set up a landing page. I do know how to use scheduling software, and I do know how to let my clients book for me. I do know how to, schedule out some YouTube videos, or I do know how to use Opus Clip. I could do that. Okay, and that saved me time. It reduced tasks. Okay. Content creation. I create engaging, valuable content that resonates with my audience. Maybe that's something. Okay. Example, maybe you wrote a blog series in the past on self-esteem that received positive feedback and increased your newsletter subscriptions. Maybe you made a post in Skool that completely, the Skool platform. Maybe you made a post in there and a lot of people really enjoyed it. Okay? You see how much better it is to identify these things and think about what you can do and the accomplishments you have. What good does it do to delve and muddle in the other? It doesn't make any sense at all, does it? But this does, because this reinforces what you've got and what you can do, which is what we're trying to do. Just like if you were trying to be an athlete, you wouldn't want to drink and do drugs and stuff, because that completely rips away all the things that you need. But if you reinforced it, nutrition, sleep, focused on that goal, that thing, that what you were doing, that would reinforce it, right? That would make it better. It's the same thing here. And it works regardless of how old you are, how rich you are, how poor you are, how great you are, any accomplishments. And then number 3, set actionable goals. So the prompt here is based on the training and your reflections that we went through today. I want you to set 3 specific, measurable goals. So a specific thing that you're going to do that's measurable for the next month, for the next hour, for the next week. I want you to think about this, and I want you to continue to build your confidence in whatever area it is. Slow down to go fast. Slow down and focus and build something great. Create something that you're proud of. Build your confidence. Build your mastery. Build your courage. And then I want you to outline the steps that you will take to achieve each goal. Okay? So, example, goal. I want to create and publish 1 piece of marketing content each week. Okay? So that's the goal. What do you want to do? Why is it a specific goal? Well, it's specific that you want to create 1 piece of marketing content each week. How's it measurable? Well, you either created 1 piece each week or not. What are your steps to do it? Look how it's done. Here's the goal. See how you can write it out? Look, you wrote it out. You wrote the goal out in 1 sentence. You just put goal on just pull up a Google Doc, write it on a piece of paper, goal. And what are you going to do? Well, you're going to create and publish 1 piece of marketing content each week. Simple, but yet effective. High output activity. And then what's your steps to do it? So write down steps. And look, there's just 3 bullet points. First step, you're going to plan content topics. And you're going to outline that at the beginning of the month. So at the beginning of the month, you're creating 4 pieces of content that month. Okay, 1 piece of marketing content each week. There's 4 weeks in a month. So at the end of the month, right? So at the very end of the month, you're going to plan the content topics and the outlines of those content topics, so that at the beginning of the month, you're starting that month knowing exactly what you're doing. Boom, confidence set. Completely different. You know what you're doing. What are you doing this month? Well, I know that I have to create 1 piece of marketing content each week. Okay? That's confidence. That's confidence. And then you're going to dedicate time each Monday to create and refine that content. Okay? Dedicate each time on Monday, okay, to create and refine that content. And then you're going to schedule posts for consistency. So when you get it done, schedule it to go out. Same time, same day of the week, every week. Wow, what a great thing. You can do that. You can do that. And when you master that, you can do more and you can do it better. 1 before 2. I always talk about that. Let's 1 before 2. Next goal. These are examples. Okay. Incorporate a morning ritual to boost my confidence daily. Okay. What are you going to do? I'm going to start each day with a 5-minute meditation focused on my strengths. What would happen if each day you started out and you set a timer on your phone, okay? You set 5-minute timer, and you sit there. You don't have to go om or bang bells or do anything like that, but you just sit there. And you just said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to focus on my strengths. What can I do? What am I good at? Instead of setting each day going, oh, this will energize you. This will give you massive amounts of power and empowerment. So I'm going to sit there for 5 minutes. You don't have to do anything hooey-fooey. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's not hooey-fooey. Okay? Introspection and thinking and paying attention to your thoughts in a positive, reinforcing growth way, there's nothing hooey-fooey about that. Okay? It's very intelligent. And then write down one positive thing about yourself and one accomplishment from the previous day. So think about that. After that 5 minutes, you're going to write down one positive thing about yourself. I'm incredible at speaking on camera. What was one accomplishment from the previous day? I ate really clean. I drank the amount of water I should be drinking. Got a good night's sleep. You do that daily. You set a routine, a system up. You just get stronger and stronger and stronger. Think about it. You take two people absolutely identical. They're doing the absolute identical things. They're literally clones of each other. They're both working in the absolute cloned environment. There's nothing different between the two people other than one of them spends 5 minutes each day focused on their strengths, identifying one positive thing about themselves instead of talking trash, and then they think about one accomplishment in a progressive moment that they had the day before. Which one do you think is stronger by the end of the year, by the end of the week? Okay? So reflect on how these practices can make you feel more empowered. I promise you there's not a single doubt in my mind that if you do this, that you won't feel different. You won't feel more powerful. Okay? And then, let me move this over here. Another goal. How about an engage in continuous learning to enhance my coaching skills? Okay. So steps, enroll in an online course related to your specific type of training. If you teach people meditation, take another training that helps you with a certain aspect of that. If you teach other people, if you coach other people, maybe you take a class that helps you with your communication. Maybe you teach somebody guitar. Take an online course that just talks about how to play the blues, okay? Or how to do certain little things inside of it. Remember, it's chipping away at that marble. It's perfecting those little zones that build up bit by bit on top of each other to make something incredible. Dedicate 1 hour each week to study and apply new knowledge. Are you doing that now? Okay, with intention, with goal. Share insights from the course with my audience to reinforce my learning. So the moment you learn something, share those insights that you learned, turn around right away and teach them to your audience. Share them with your audience. You don't have to teach them, just share it with them. Guys, here's what I learned yesterday. This is how you get better. You know, when you share with others, you're learning, they're learning, there's this third thing happening. You're infusing this wisdom inside of you. And this is how you get better and better and better. Okay, so this exercise is going to help you consolidate your training, your learning. It's going to recognize your achievements and set a clear path for continued growth and confidence in your digital coaching business. Let me know in the community how you're liking the Fearless formula. Okay, this formula of making our mindset better, of understanding ourself in hopes to be able to help others more, because that's the magic in this world. When you help other people solve their problems, your problems go away. So the Fearless Founder formula, I'm going to be bringing more to this. Please let me know in the community, what was one thing? I'll actually attach a post down below. Go down below and tell me what was one thing that you learned from this Fearless formula, okay? This Fearless Founder formula. What was one thing that you learned from this self-esteem training? Down below in the comments. And right after you put that, I want you to put one thing about yourself that is a strength. Okay? So, Mike, I really like the idea of identifying all the distractions and removing them. That was really helpful. That gave me kind of an aha moment. And one of my strengths, I'm really good at, creating and editing video. Okay, so that'd be like an example of what you'd put down in the comments down, because I'll attach a post. All right, I believe in you. I hope you believe in you. Stop that self-trash talk. Don't do it. Use empowering words. Learn. Focus. Get a routine going. Get that Google Doc going. Go back and listen about where I said about the Google Doc. And I'll see you in the next one.